facing off against Chase Blevins, and joining us on the program, Tyler Martin, with his up-and-coming fight in the heavyweight title. To tell you, to me personally, I'm so beyond blessed to be able to showcase, an MMA event like this. And I absolutely love with what Agoge Fight League has been able to do in these last few title fights. It's been a long years running for yourself. This is a story for you to come back into the ring. How pumped you got to be back into the ring and just show people what you're made of.
It has definitely been a long time coming. I've been out of the ring for almost 10 years. Last documented fight, I believe, was in 2015 against David Robbins. That was a horrible weight cut down to 70. Was not the outcome I wanted. So I took a lot of time off from that. But, I have not felt any better mentally, physically. And not cutting weight helps immensely. Fighting around my natural weight class actually is so much easier now. And I'm so blessed that Agoge, I talked to Steve and I was like, hey man, how do you feel about me coming back and fighting on your show? And he took a step back. He's like, are you serious? Yeah, man, let's do it. And set me up with this fight, man. I could not be more excited and more blessed to have this and to display it at Agoge.
It's funny. I have a soft spot, more in particular because of the weight class that you're in. And listen, I give you and many fighters credit for guys that either bulk up or cut down the weight, because it's a lot. Your body fluctuates, but I have noticed you notice a difference with as far as energy, as far as flexibility sometimes, because there is even a part of you that you may have felt like at one point, like the weight class you're in, but then the lower you go, it's like, dude, I feel like I'm back in my 20s again. Like I'm literally ready to just throw down on the cage. So your fight against Chase Blevins, what are some things that you kind of studied on? Because we know for a lot of the fighters beforehand, they study the techniques. They try to figure out, okay, what's working for me that I know I've used, that I'm used to, but to be prepared against a fighter like this, this is a heavyweight. This is pound for pound. You're ready to be throwing any and everything that you can out in the ring.
Oh, yeah. I've watched some film. My fellow coaching staff, we've went over some of his fights for, I believe it was Aries Fight Series. And honestly, now at this stage in my career, like I can break apart most of it. But I'm more mentally aware that, again, we're at heavyweight. One punch changes the whole tone of the fight. So it's more being aware of my conditioning, his conditioning, how we want to weather the storm if it comes to that. But it's definitely one of those things where I'm more alert in my fight IQ of how we're going to approach the aspects of if we do get clipped or if, there is that unexpected change in the game plan to be able to adapt to that. I've seen through the few fights that he does have, he is developing and growing as well. So there's nothing to take away saying that he got this hole or that hole. Whatever hole he did have in a previous fight, he's got a great coach, great camp, so he's probably fixed it. I'm just going to be more cautious because, we are heavyweights, man. We're going to go out there and bang, so try not to get clipped.
It's I will tell you, funny thing is because like with myself, I've been a fan of UFC for such a long time. But I will tell you, a lot of the smaller leagues I've come across, like these guys are so down to earth people. And what's funny is like because of my last name, some people get a little intimidated because it's Silva. And yet we've heard so many names that have been in this ring. So, when you look at it as a heavyweight, who was somebody that you loved watching the most, that you looked as kind of an icon for yourself? Because to me, many of the heavyweights, it's not like what it used to be in boxing, where you had Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and all these big heavyweights that were pound for pound that were ready to be relentless. Was there ever someone you were a fan of that you're just like, man, as big as he is and how he controls himself physically, mentally, I love the way in which he steps into the fight and he's focused?
I would say top two was going to be Mark Hunt, the Super Samoan. Man, just that one punch walk off knockouts was amazing to watch. And then you also would see that he could weather the storm, go the 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever the competition was needed. And just those nasty knockouts. And then it was also be for 100% Mirko Cro Cop. Just off of the aspect of what he did outside of the cage, anti-terrorist units, and then just knocking everybody out with those leg kicks and head kicks. And just it was just to see the aspect of the flexibility at that weight was just always impressive.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, those are two really good fighters, and I give them many credits. I mean, these guys were very special in their own ways, and especially with their techniques. But to seeing them fight, I mean, I watched a couple of clips and I'm like, my goodness. Like, that's the kind of fight I love watching every time, because it's so talked about all the time. So I got to ask you, because you're coming back, and more specifically, you're coming back to Agoge Fight League, which to me, I couldn't have said it any best, and maybe you could agree to this, but faith, family, and fighting all come into one place up and into the ring. What does it mean, and why it's so important fighting in Agoge Fight League? Like, what makes it so special for you, in your opinion?
So I've been working with them in behind the scenes aspects as a coach, getting them fighters. Been there with Steve, helping him out any way that he can, and just watching it grow. And they've never changed on their standards and morals of how they wanted to operate, the matchmaking that they wanted to do. And it's always been a more inclusive promotion, that they were 100% faith, family, and fighting. And they make it very family oriented. They'll bring kids in the ring. They'll bring, like, it gives that growth to the sport that is not seen at the major larger promotions. It gives them that next generation a platform to grow, and it helps keep the sport growing as it is.
Yeah, and I think it also narrows down the true meaning of itself, what it means being a fighter deep down, inside and out. Because I mean,
Oh,
you could have the talent all you want, but it's, what are you up here, and at the same time, what you're feeling in your heart. Because to see that in an atmosphere, I mean, this is going to be a large fight. I love this fight card, and the fact that we're going to have so many people here, up and in ringside, and just seeing this. I'm excited for it. Listen, I live in Colorado, and we've had a lot of BKFC, and we have a lot of different events that come up to here. But I love working with Chuck and Steven. And to me personally, I'd love to take a visit to Nashville. I've never been to Tennessee. Absolutely love the barbecue, love the country music, but I would love to see some good fighting up and into the ring.
Yeah. And that's the big thing with Tennessee now. Lately, we've had some great promotions, man. Like the talent pool here, and this is kind of aging myself, but when I started fighting in 2008, there wasn't many gyms. Now we have so many gyms. There's so many fighters that have coming out of this, that the promoters are having to be very selective on who they put on the show for that. But man, like, you got to come down to Tennessee, man. You got to experience it. It's great. The atmosphere is something unlike anything else. Nashville is phenomenal. I work down there. I'm always on Broadway. Unfortunately, I get a little sick of it, but there are some nights, the live music, the food, and then I think that's why I'm at heavyweight now. The food.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, but you know what? It's always good when you're eating good in the neighborhood itself, right?
Oh
yeah. Well, the best part of it is, I mean, think about it this way. On this show, I've been doing it for 6+ years, and to have the opportunity to be a part of a show partnership with the Agoge Fight League is an absolute blessing. Because here's the thing, I was born and raised in Vegas my whole life. So we always have the UFC headquarters and, of course, T-Mobile Arena for all of our fights. Then I live here up in Colorado. We have so many different gyms and BKFC. And we're also talking through this while being showcased on a radio show in Atlanta. So many people up and in the South to come up and go into Tennessee. Come out, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But Tyler, appreciate you. So if you want to check out more of Tyler the Warrior Martin's profile, just definitely go up and look up on social media and look up more at AgogeFightLeague.com. Agoge Fight League 12. Martin versus Blevins. It's going to be a great fight, stacked lineup card. Remember, early bird specials, $30 until it gets to $40 by going to AgogeFightLeague.com. Appreciate you for coming on by here, Tyler. Enjoy it and get ready, man, because this is going to be a lot of fun. Any plans after the fight itself? You ever got a tradition for yourself?
It used to be then I was fighting at 70. It was definitely going and getting some like a milkshake or something. But now, definitely just embracing the family and friends, just having that fun. This is going to be a great event, and I hope everybody comes out and enjoys it. I'm hoping to put on a show for everybody.
There you go, man. I absolutely love that response, man. Well, good luck to you. Good luck. Best of luck. Hopefully, come away with a W up and into this ring. And listen, God bless, man, because we know that in the end, all faith, all family. Then we're getting to fighting up and into the ring. Take care of yourself, man, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. And listen, it's a strong